Leo.
Hey everyone, before we start today, I'd just like to address a question that I get a lot in my email, and it will save me a lot of time here if I can collectively address it here to you. So the question I get is whether I give private readings or not. And yes, I do. I do it all the time. You will find it here on the sidebar. You just want to click on it. It will take you directly to the website where you can find out more information on the various readings that are available to you, both on the astrological side as well as the psychic readings and what you can expect from those. All right, so let's get on with it and see what November has in store for you this month. Hello Leo, this is your forecast for November 2014, and this month is starting off on a pretty good note. We got 3 aspects going on here, and they're all harmonious. The first one we have November 1st is Mercury, which is your mind, the way you think, relate, communicate, aligned with Jupiter, which is all expansive, okay? It grows everything it comes in touch with, so you're going to feel that you're really communicative here on this day. And Jupiter is also very generous, so you might come upon somebody who's very generous with you, or you might just feel that you're extra generous here this day as well. This aspect here for you goes between the 3rd house of communication, so that's like a double whammy, and Jupiter there in the 1st house, which is yourself. So you may also find that it's a great time for you to market yourself. If you have a project or a concept that you would like to bring up and out, great time to do so, and especially because the second aspect we have November 1st is Venus and Pluto. Now, Venus rules love and relationships, but it also rules money. For you, this month, Venus is touring the 4th house of your home, your foundation. And Pluto here is all transformative, and for you, Pluto is in that 6th house for co-workers or those you work with on a daily basis, also your daily routines. So you might just come to see here how you might be shoring something up at home, maybe putting something into a new order, maybe organizing something, and doing it with fun, doing it with joy, not just obligation, which can make those things very tedious and boring, but you might find a lot of joy on doing this because your energy is so upbeat. It's like your biorhythms are on a high. Also with Mars, your physical drive and energy is also here on a high, and it is coupled with Neptune, which is your higher ideals. And Mars is not just your physical drive, but it's also your goals. So I'm seeing here how Mars is wanting to really drive home something that you might have been putting aside for a long time. But here now in this area, Mars is wanting to clear up those spaces where maybe some clutter has been left in the garage or around, and kind of reminding you that, oh, I need to do this or that. But now you have the physical drive and goal and ambition to get it done and beautify. That's what Venus is about. It's also what Neptune is about, how we can create that more refined and inspiring energy around us. November 3rd, the Sun, which is you, the Sun right now is cruising through the 4th house of your home, your foundation, your roots, your inner self. So the home, once again, is very much so here in focus. And Pluto in aspect here on the 3rd is wanting to transform, renew something. And once again, I see it having to do with either upgrading or creating a better day-to-day flow so you can become more efficient in the future without always having to look at clutter and having to remind yourself what you need to do. Once that's out of the way, your physical energy is going to up and rise. Trust me, you're going to feel 10 times better in the aftermath of this. So we have an intense day here on November 10th. This is when the same Mars now is conjuncting here Pluto in that very same area. So you might start on the 1st, putting yourself in a position of making some choices, making plans, looking ahead a few days. And if you haven't already, by this time, done those things that you've been mentally now preparing yourself for, the day will come here on the 10th where all this energy is now going out, and as if you can't stand it one day more. You know what it's going to do too? It not only is it going to visually be more appealing to you, but energetically, it's more how we feel like on the inside when we want to boost our energy, come into a new energetic cycle. This conjunction between Mars and Pluto happens once every other year. Okay, it's like 2 years for Mars to go around the chart once. So now when it's meeting up with Pluto, it's like from the ground up, from inside out. It's wanting to take something and transform it into something new. For you, this is the 6th house. It has to do with your health as well. So you might feel like you're making some good choices now to really get on with a new routine, and as if you're promising yourself to keep this alive, to keep this going, not just, here we're inspired today and then gone tomorrow. It's really putting down a new day-to-day routine which can behoove you for the next 2 years if you're lucky. Now on the 11th, yes, this is also a good day. You're still riding this high. Your energy is high. Today, Mercury, your mind and your communication is connecting here closely with Neptune in a beautiful trine. And this is you thinking about those higher concepts, the ideal world you would like to live in. What does it take, Leo, to create that ideal world? One thing is to think it, visualize it, but then we need to kick it into action. I'm kind of happy that this aspect is here right now, because the power of Mars and Pluto is still with you. The aspect was just the day before, but now here, see, you can actually infuse, so you can merge and melt these two aspects together and really ground it by the 12th. When Venus and Saturn comes into play with a conjunctions, that's when two planets are side by side in the sky. They infuse one another. It kind of kickstarts the engine, right? It's the ignition. And Venus is what you love and who you love, of course. And Saturn is structure. It's grounding. It's that whole framework which really gives substance and form to things. So whatever you've been doing here at 10th, 11th, and 12th, you're going to love it. You might be exhausted, though, by the end of it, because it looks like your energy is so high that you can actually, once you start, have enough energy to kind of move a mountain. Okay? So you're going to get a lot done in 2 days. And this might be over something that you've been looking at and allowing it to drain your energy, maybe for months on end. But here you go. 2 days it took to do that. So you're pretty pleased with yourself here. On the 16th, you're feeling good. Whatever communication here this day, Mercury, Pluto is going to make sure that it's detailed and what should I say? Into the core. So whoever you're talking to, it's like the essence of what you're trying to achieve will definitely be transformative to the person you're speaking with today. And it's really nice. Why? Because we also have Venus shifting sign. It's getting out, moving out of Scorpio and now opening up into Sagittarius. So now Venus, your emotions are going to be in your sister sign, and it's full of fire, it's full of joy. Sagittarius is very much so happy-go-lucky, charming, and humorous. And so you're going to see how these elements are going to surface here on the 17th. On the 18th, the Sun, which is you, and Saturn, structure, they're meeting up together now in the home. It's more like it's you taking an overview, looking at what you have done the past week, like you're inspecting and making sure that things are exactly the way that you want them, and you're feeling pretty good about it. It's like you're making a judgment here upon yourself within your space. But it also rules real estate, property, so this would also be a good day to secure anything if you're buying or selling or leasing. Great time to have that initiated at this time. Then we have, didn't mention the full moon here on the 6th. I want to bring that up here right now. For you, your full moon is going to be in the area of career this month, Leo. And the full moon is always about harvest. It brings to us those things that we have initiated earlier or planted seeds under earlier previous new moons, right? When we put down our intentions. So if those intentions were planted good and correctly, you should start seeing now how things are going to come to you and how it's going to expand the area of career. That's on November 6th. The new moon this month, we had 2 eclipses last month, but this new moon is November 22nd, and that is going to be just on the cusp into your 5th house of creativity. So I think for you, since it's also now in the sign of Sagittarius, it's just there on the cusp coming out of Scorpio. But the Sagittarian energy, also this new moon, it all depends on where you live in the world. And we speak to you globally, all right? So we have 2-hour time zones across the world. So some of you will feel it there in end of Scorpio. Others of you will feel it there at the very beginning of Sagittarius. But for you, Leo, it's really nice because this moon in Sagittarius is very alive, and the 5th house of self-expression, creativity, the arts, music. Also for those of you who have children, this is a time where you're going to focus more on them, their needs. If you have a business, this is the time that you want to really initiate and implement new creative ideas that you've been carrying. Excuse me. What also is nice is that we have all the planets moving directly now this month. Well, until the 16th, we still have the Neptune retrograde. The outer planets, we don't notice them as well as we do the personal planets when they're retrograde. But Neptune will go direct on the 16th, which then concludes all the planets now moving forward. And you'll come to feel this as, you know, this entire year, it's been nothing but retrogrades and difficult long-term aspects, squares and crosses and whatnot. So now you're going to really start seeing the consequence of how things started to turn in August, then through September and October. But here, November, all of them are aligned. They're all having things and chores that you want to catch up on and do and complete and initiate. So I'm feeling November is good. That's what I mentioned in October. October was a fairly good month, and also telling you that there's a lot to look forward to now in November. So we are on the direct. We're also finishing up on that Saturnian cycle here that you've had within your home and your roots and your real estate, your property. Last 2 years, Saturn's been giving you a little bit of, I won't say necessarily a runaround, but definitely more responsibility in this area. That's going to start loosening up here at the end of next month. We'll speak more about that in December. But we have also November 21st, if you're going to have a talk or setting up any kind of interview, this would be a good day to have one because you're so aligned with your energy. Mercury's crystal clear here with Mars, so Mars is really focused, so you can really get a lot said in a short amount of time. Instead of the long story, you can just relate the skinny and get to the crux of the matter. So this is good, and also on the 25th. So between those two aspects, I feel that you're going to do pretty okay on moving ahead or creating agreements that are important. You're still working here on wanting to expand who you are, bring yourself out, this new self to the world. You're still working on seeing how you're changing your worldview in many ways. So many of you are opening up to the higher concepts of metaphysics and spirituality, and attracting new people in this area where you can grow with them and speak with them about these new things that you might have not been able to do with the old group of friends. So this is what we have for you. You do want to listen to your partner's chart this month just to see what's going on with him or her, and also your moon and rising sign. And I'll see you again here next month. So have a good one now, Leo.